This is Glenn Rice with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 5745 Babbitt Avenue, Encino, California, 91316. Today is June 6th, 2020. We're performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS cleanout located at the front of the house, just to the right of the driveway in the planter area. And this is our 4-inch cleanout in the planter area. This is the front of our property. This is our driveway. And this goes out towards the front of the property in the street. And we went ahead and zeroed out our camera monitor here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and begin our video sewer inspection. We're dropping down black ABS sewer pipe. And it does appear that we're transitioning into vitreous clay. And we got a little bit of an offset in that joint there from about the 3 o'clock all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. We're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we do have what appears to be a root intrusion and a break in that joint there. As you can see at the bottom there, from about the 4 o'clock area up around to about the 6 o'clock area, you can see that there's a very large break in that line there. And as we pull back, you can see that it's fully root intruded. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. And we have more roots in these joints here. It does appear to be a fairly large root intrusion in this area. And we do have another break in the line there. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to push out. What we're going to do is attempt to push all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And then from there we'll pull back and take a good look. And as you can see, we do have more roots in this area. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and attempt to push all the way out. And get all the way out into our city sewer. And then from there we'll take a good look. And a little bit of a turn. And it does appear that we're dropping down into our city sewer tie-in. What we'll do is try to rinse our camera off here. And we'll pull back. And we'll pull back to our saddle area, which is here, and we'll pause here for a moment and locate this area. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as I mentioned, we pushed all the way out into our city sewer tie-in. And we're in the street there. We marked it with the red crayon at 6 foot 6 inches deep. So we're just going to continue to pull back, take a good look. We do have a bit of an offset in the joint here, right at the saddle area. And again, this offsets from about the 9 o'clock area all the way around to about the 4 o'clock area. Making a little bit of a turn. We're going to pull back slowly. We're just going to take a look at these joints. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. We're just going to continue to pull back. As you can see, we do have a little bit of root intrusion in this joint here. A little bit around the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock area. There, very small root intrusion in that joint. I'm going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And as you can see in this joint here, we do have a crack at the bottom of the joint there. So as I mentioned, you can see at the bottom here that we do have a crack in the joint here. And this crack is from about the 4 o'clock area around to about the 7, 8 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair condition. And again, we do have some root intrusion in this joint here, and it does appear that we do have another crack in that joint there. What we're going to do is we're just going to continue to pull back. And as we pull back, we're pulling back into a larger root intrusion here. As you can see, the joint has got root intrusion coming in from about the 3 o'clock all the way up to about the 11 o'clock area. We're going to continue to pull back. And again, we do have a break in this area here. I'm going to pause the mic for a moment. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, we have a very large break in this area here. This is the break area here, as you can see, from about the 3 o'clock down to about the 6 o'clock. And then we do have some root intrusion. And as you pull back, you can see the joint. And this is actually the joint of the vitreous clay. And so we're just going to go ahead and continue to pull back. And as you can see, we do have a large root intrusion in that joint. We're going to pull back, and we're pulling back. In this area here, we have a fairly large root intrusion, as you can see. And as you can see at the bottom there, from about the 3 o'clock, all around the bottom there, you can see a crack going across the bottom of the pipe. Very hard to determine the length of the crack or if it's covering the full diameter of the pipe, just due to the large root intrusion. So as we pull back, you can still see that the crack comes out right there around the 9 o'clock area. So we're just going to go ahead and pull back and pause here for a moment. Okay, so we're just going to pause here for a moment. We're going to go ahead and locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and located this area here, and we're just right at the edge of the sidewalk and the grass coming back onto the property. And we did mark this area up 5 foot 7 inches deep, and we placed an orange flag to identify the area. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull back. We're going to pull back to the next root intrusion, and we'll pause there and mark that area. So as you can see here, we have another fairly large root intrusion. So we're just going to pause here for a moment and mark this area.
Rigid.
Is it the ones they put in there? That they suck in there? Yeah. My folks told me that once on a Zoom party, you know. They were like, yeah, it's cool, but it's funny to do that, so it doesn't work. Yeah, decent, but it's
So you're coming back towards your clean out here.
okay.
You want me to mark them all, or?
It's just maybe just like the major ones.
I'll mark a couple here. I mean,
Yeah, like
you can pretty much say, from there.
that's fine. Yeah.
And then when I write the report, I watch the video again, and then just my report's kind of written to kind of what you see, X amount of feet you have breaks.
Yeah.
Usually I'll just put, if there's multiple throughout, I just put multiple cracks and breaks throughout the vitreous clay. We recommend hydrojetting and then re-inspecting. So for when we hydrojet the line, we get all the roots and stuff out of the line, and then we can see the condition if it's actually completely collapsed, or if it's just a crack, the diameter is still there, or the piece is missing. And then that can determine when to repair.
Gotcha. Got a lot of roots. Some cracking.
Okay.
What exactly is due to the sidewalk is exactly what the building is
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's clay, so
Clay.
yeah. General idea.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate though. If you dug a hole there, you'd probably find it.
Yeah.
Is that where it's from?
There's a couple spots.
Yeah.
So just marking like the major
So
ones.
the little mark there in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
See the little crayon. There's a crayon like red crayon right there.
Yeah.
So that's the actual tie into the city.
Yeah.
So from this point out, from let's say the curve out, the joints weren't that bad. There was a couple hairline cracks in there, but no major root intrusions. So you did have some small cracks. But once you get back over towards underneath the tree and all this is where you're getting all the roots and the breaks and the pipe. But it probably runs through this.
Yeah.
Like right here, right underneath it, right up. It's almost like right underneath it. So. And then we pull back and we go into here. And this is ABS. They have an ABS clean out, but as soon as you drop down the ABS clean out, you go maybe a foot, 2 foot, and then it transitions automatically right back to vitreous clay. So they found it. They probably initially found the sewer, put a clean out in here, but didn't replace it.
Probably what they meant.
Yeah, none of this has been replaced. Yeah.
So they replaced that.
Yeah, they maybe
Yeah.
this portion here, or if they did any remodeling in the house, I don't know. When Michael goes underneath, he can tell you if it's all ABS under there or not.
Okay.
But they'll tell you if maybe they remodeled, did repiped under the house and did all the waste, and then they came out here when they tied into the sewer. They just basically dug a hole, put the clean out, and tied into the existing sewer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, we went ahead and marked this area, and it's at 6 foot 2 inches deep, and this is just in the grass area as well. And what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to pull back, and once we get closer towards our clean out in the transition, we'll mark our transition. And again, as you can see, we do have another crack there at the bottom of that pipe, vitreous clay, so we're just going to continue to pull back, and another very large root intruded joint here. And as you can see, we do have another fairly large break in that joint there. And again, we're just going to pull back to our transition from vitreous clay to black ABS, and we'll mark that. And we did mark several areas throughout the lawn that have root intrusions and breaks. And this is our transition here. And as you can see in our transition, we have a fairly large offset in our transition. This pipe wasn't set well. And as you can see, from about the 2 o'clock all the way around to about the 7, 8 o'clock area. And what we'll do is we're just going to push up against it, and we're going to pause here for a moment and locate this area. Okay, we went ahead and marked our transition from ABS to vitreous clay, and as you can see, this is here in this joint here, and it's just right at the edge of the planter, about 2 feet from the clean out itself. So we're just going to go ahead and pull back and come up and out of our clean out, and that will conclude our video sewer inspection.